Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we have a video titled How Andrew Wiggins Could Change the NBA This Season. So this is a video by B-Souls. So check out his channel, guys. Also, keep in mind, I am doing this as a live stream on my Twitch channel right now, which is Crispy Flakes. So if you guys ever want to watch these live, check me out over there. But yes, I'm very curious about this video because I, for one, do not think Andrew Wiggins could change the NBA unless this is just a mind-blowing thing that's just going to completely just throw me off. But from like a basketball standpoint and being like a star out there, I don't know about that, guys, but we'll see what he says, man. So here we go. How Andrew Wiggins could change the NBA this season.
I thought I'd say this, but Andrew Wiggins may be the most important player next year because of the ripple effect he will create depending on how he plays. But before we start the video, how are y'all liking this background? I just moved into URI last weekend, and this is gonna be a lot to get used to, not just for me, but for you guys as well. The amount of shit going on around campus and the amount of noise in the background is just crazy. The most significant player next season, and it's weird because who would think of it to be Andrew Wiggins? You would think it'd be someone like Stephen Curry or LeBron or KD. Nah, it's Andrew Wiggins, the guy that I'm pretty much known to be a hater of, which again, I can't stress this enough, is the weirdest title to have.
Okay, so this means he's probably got something up his sleeve here, man. He got something up his sleeve.
The Timberwolves just a couple seasons ago was viewed as the future of the league, the team that will take over and dominate the league after the Warriors era was over. But here we are 2 years later, and there is a legitimate doubt as to if this team could even make the playoffs. Even after 2 years of development from two #1 overall draft picks in Andrew Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns and the acquisition of All-Star Jimmy Butler. And speaking of Butler, he is on a contract year and will be an unrestricted free agent next offseason. And with the Timberwolves trading Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and their 7th pick, who ended up being Lauri Markkanen, a great prospect and a great rookie, the pressure is on for the Timberwolves to entice Jimmy Butler, or they may potentially be viewed as the franchise who traded these 3 guys with still a lot of potential for 2 years of Jimmy Butler, where they did nothing except be an 8th seed the first year and got gentlemen swept by the Rockets.
Wait, was Lauri Markkanen, was that draft pick part of the trade for Jimmy Butler? Because Lauri Markkanen would have been like the perfect center by Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm just saying, bro. Oh my God. Wow. Seriously, man.
And, well, this is where Andrew Wiggins comes in. Andrew Wiggins is pretty much the key to everything. You see, when Jimmy Butler came to Minnesota, albeit by trade, he was expecting to take a step back and let Cat and Wiggins take the helm and run the show. But as the season progressed, it became extremely obvious that this team was not functioning well with that plan, and Jimmy Butler had to be the first option for the Timberwolves. And as soon as Jimmy Butler got injured, Cat and Wiggins were so ill-prepared to lead the team that they had to go to the last game of the season to lock up a playoff spot. When the majority of the time Butler was the first option, they kept a pretty strong hold on the 3rd seed. But when you look at the numbers, let's be real, Cat was actually holding up his part. Because in the 17 games Jimmy Butler was out, Karl-Anthony Towns put up 25 points, 12 rebounds, and a block on 54% shooting from the field, 43% from 3.
How many points did he give up, though? How many points did he give up? Just saying. Those are some really good numbers. Those are actually really good, great, fantastic, like superstar numbers.
And 85% from the line. Meanwhile, Wiggins put up 19 points and 5 rebounds on 45% shooting from the field, 38% shooting from 3, and 69% shooting from the free throw.
That's not bad.
His efficiency did improve when Butler went down, but it's not saying much when you're shooting 44% from the field and 31% from 3 prior to it. But for a guy who's supposed to be the 2nd option by now and a perennial all-star with all the hype he was receiving, he could have definitely stepped up more in Jimmy's absence. Not just scoring wise, because defensively he was still looking really suspect. He still wasn't any sort of passer or a playmaker, and his efficiency, although it improved, was still average at best. But B-Souls, he's still young, give him time. But now I ask you, how much time does this man need to prove to everyone that he's worthy of the #1 pick? That he is a perennial all-star? That he can even be an all-star caliber player? That he can be at least the 2nd option on a playoff team? Not a championship team, just a team that can get the 8th seed. But I hate to break it to you, Wiggins is headed into his
let me check this out real quick here. 5th NBA season, age 19. a player, I would say a player probably enters their prime around 27. So, like, if he can, like, still, like, make, like, some gradual improvements, then I still think he could be an all-star. I don't want to say, like, the greatest all-star out there, but I think he could possibly do it.
5th year as a 23-year-old, gonna be 24 in the season. This is a guy who has not made any significant improvements in this game in 5 years. Guys like Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum are coming into the league more ready to lead a team at the same or at a younger age with less experience and less hype. But we're supposed to excuse Wiggins? Year 4 for a 22-year-old, okay, I get the complaints, although I still stand by what I said. By year 4, you should be way more than what you are right now. But year 5? Age 23, gonna be 24, being the highest paid player on your team, getting $25 million plus per year? This is where the line is drawn. It's now or never for Wiggins. Because if he doesn't step it up this season, Jimmy Butler will most likely leave either in free agency or he might even demand a trade. And there are rumors that Jimmy and Kyrie Irving still might be trying to find ways to link up somewhere in New York. Or he could potentially join LeBron in LA, making the Lakers definitively the 2nd or 3rd best team in the West. But let's talk about Butler and Kyrie to New York, because out of all the scenarios I just named, if Andrew Wiggins does not step up, I believe this is the most likely scenario. What we'd have is a scenario in which the Timberwolves are going to be stuck in that 8th through 11th seed race for the foreseeable future. The Knicks become one of, if not the best team in the East, assuming Porzingis is...
Okay, I gotta say this about the Timberwolves real quick. It hasn't always kind of been their issue, though, is that they have been in the Western Conference. Like, even going back to, like, the Kevin Garnett days, there was always times where it's like, the Timberwolves, they had talent, but they weren't, like, the most talented. But it was one of those things where it's like, if they were in the Eastern Conference, they would have made the playoffs. So I know there's quite a few teams in the West that kind of have that issue. The good thing about the T-Wolves, and it's like, if they have the patience, this plan could potentially work out, or maybe it would just blow up in their face, is that, like, Karl-Anthony Towns and Wiggins are both extremely young. So, in the meantime, they're not going to put a team together unless they get, like, a big-time superstar that's going to contend with, like, LeBron James or the Warriors or the Rockets. So, if they keep on working on that chemistry and keep on working on developing these guys, then in, like, 5 years from now, when these guys that are already really good players, I mean, good players on the Timberwolves, when they're, like, really entering their prime, then all these other super teams and stuff, they're retiring or getting old and stuff like that. So, I don't know, maybe that's just a bad idea.
Healthy, and the Celtics would lose one of the best point guards in the league and a top 15 player to a potential rival, and would go from being a legitimate team that could compete with the Warriors to a team that may have to wait for the full development of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and possibly Terry Rozier to be real title contenders. But let's say he does step it up. Jimmy Butler will most likely stay with the Timberwolves and buy into their future, and the Timberwolves could become one of the 4 best teams in the West next year, and for years to come as well. And Wiggins may actually live up to the hype finally. Also, people aren't talking about this enough, but Cat is a restricted free agent next year, and although he is a restricted free agent and it is a team option, it would be nice to know that Cat wants to stay with the Timberwolves and will be a happy camper in his stay. And a big part of him being a happy camper will be the development of Andrew Wiggins. Look, all I know is this: Andrew Wiggins, it's now or never. But with that being said,
Okay, so, dang, I agree with what he's saying. I do think it's this now or never mentality, in the sense where it's like, now or never, he could take the next step and become like a superstar or an all-star, or he can just always kind of be known as just an okay NBA player. Like, despite how this season turns out, I don't think Wiggins is ever going to be known as a bad basketball player. Like, he's always going to have a place in the NBA. I think he'll always be a starting caliber player just due to his scoring and stuff like that, although he's not always efficient at times. Really, he's not efficient at all. He definitely needs to work on his three-point shot, too. But this can be a poor example. But there's also reasons why I hate saying now or never, because I look at Steve Nash. And it's like, he didn't really become like a dominant NBA player until he was like age 30. So, but I don't know, definitely 2 different types of styles of plays out there. Anyway, guys, give me your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Andrew Wiggins, do you think he still got it, or do you think he's just gonna be a bust and just not be as good as he was hyped up to be? Give me your thoughts. Peace out, my friends.